Well, obviously we played really well tonight, probably the best game we've played in over a month. Outstanding pitching, outstanding defense, and we swung the bats really well. So really pleased that we responded in that way, and now we've got to take our focus to tomorrow to a really good NC State team.
Will I take it the forearm's not bothering you anymore?
Yeah, I felt pretty good running around the bases.
Just how much have you wanted this, and how difficult was it to get back in the lineup a couple weeks ago and then feel something and then have to take a seat? Just how forward you looking to tonight?
Yeah, I was really looking forward. It's a lot more fun to come to the ballpark when I get to be in the lineup. So I've just been working really hard to try and get back.
James, what was the moment like when you learned that you would be getting the ball today for this first start, and just what were the emotions like out there? I know you hit the first batter you faced, but it seemed like you settled down. I guess just what was the experience like for you?
Oh, it was unbelievable. It's something I've wanted for a really long time, and something I've worked forward to my whole life really. And then once I got out there, the adrenaline and the nerves were going, so Cole had to run out and tell me to calm down. So I probably made the coaches a little nervous at that point, but I figured it out.
Kind of stick with that, Mark. What made James the choice for you tonight, and do you have a choice for tomorrow yet on the mound?
The choice was James because he really took his opportunity at the SEC tournament and ran with it. Obviously, Jack has been one of our most consistent guys all year too, so it was nice thinking that maybe we could have James throw the first game, hoping he would duplicate what he did at the SEC tournament against Georgia, and then have Jack hopefully for the 2-hole, and that's exactly what we got. James really set the tone for us. Like he said, I thought it was that his first 3 or 4 pitches I think were balls, and so we sent Messina out there to calm him down a little bit, and then he really settled in, and he was dominant. And the great thing is we were able to get him out of there with 62 pitches because of the way we were swinging the bats, which could potentially keep him available if we have to play on a Monday. So, we're just trying to play our cards right here.
That is Jack tomorrow?
Potentially, yeah. As soon as we hear about NC State, again, I hate to be that guy, but as soon as we know who NC State's throwing, we'll release ours as well.
Well, I got to ask, what was going through your head, with that homer, with the review? Did you think it was getting out or not? And then how cool is it to see just, the fans go crazy and your teammates, I think they were like throwing water into the air and stuff. Like, how cool is that for you to, return and do all that?
Yeah, that was really cool. Off the bat, I didn't think it was getting out. And then I didn't realize it was even that close until I watched the replay. But, yeah, it was really cool walking or running home from third and seeing all my teammates there and squirting water in my face. It was fun.
Hey, Mark, all this week you were talking about, hey, I want you guys to remember how we opened up the season here. Not quite 20 runs, but what's your assessment? And obviously this is a much bigger win in postseason.
Yeah, we talked about this was a new opening day for us. We prepared accordingly all week. We talked about it. We gave them most of the weekend off, but then when they came back on Monday, we said we're getting to work, and the guys paid the price to play this well tonight. And I'm really proud of them, but tonight was earned. They put in the work all week, and I'm glad that they got rewarded for all that effort.
James, what kind of message do you think this performance sent to the people that lost faith in this team?
I just think it says that we're still here and we've made it through the hard times, and we showed up to work every day, and we're back hot again, and we're just how we left.
Will, I know you weren't in the lineup the last month of the season, but how close did that performance, top to bottom, not just you but the entire lineup, feel to what you guys were through those first 40 games where you were working pitch counts, and when you got a pitch to hit, it was either going over the fence or getting down for extra bases?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like the beginning of the season when Monty always preaches we have 9 guys against 1 pitcher, and it was at-bat after at-bat today, just kind of fed off each other. We took our walks, we took our hit-by pitches, and then we got some big hits that tacked on the extra runs.
Mark, when did you decide that Will was going to be able to get into that DH role in a starting spot? And also, did you can't predict 19 runs, obviously, but did you get a sense at all during this week of practice that your offense would have a big day?
Well, as it relates to Will, You know, for the last 8 weeks, 8+ weeks, I kept hoping to watch him take BP and see no grimace on his face and see the ball coming off the bat hot. And for 8 weeks, I just didn't see that. And he was fighting and he was doing everything he could to get back, and I didn't see it. And then this week, you just started to see the ball coming off hot, and you didn't see that he was in pain when he was swinging. And I'd say about midweek, I started looking. I'm like, dude, we might be able to do this. Like, we might be able to do this. And I said, I'm not going to be scared. Our best team is when you're in there. I don't care if you haven't had at bats for 8 weeks. I believe in you as a person. And so once I saw that he wasn't in pain, the ball was coming off his bat pretty good, I said, we're going to put you at the top of the lineup, man. I'm so happy for the kid. He's a leader on this team. He's been a leader for this team for the 8 weeks he wasn't even playing. And I love seeing guys get rewarded like that. Did I see 19 runs coming tonight? No, I did not. But I didn't see 20 runs on opening day either. But I think it just shows if you have the right guys in there, if you put the work in, you can get rewarded.
I know I only threw 10 pitches, but Will Sanders looked sharp out there in his inning. Just what did you see from him, and how, I guess, encouraging is that kind of performance from him?
We saw exactly what we wanted to see. We wanted to get him in there in a low leverage situation so he could get his feet wet, not feel like the weight of the world was on his shoulders. We wanted to get him in, get him out so that he could be available again this weekend. And I thought he was very sharp. 2 strikeouts. He had good stuff tonight, and he felt pain-free. So again, that's another good development, because when he's pitching and when McGillis is playing and you have your defense out there, it's a totally different ball club. It just is. So it was great to see, and hopefully the fact that we weathered the storm and now we're coming out the other side of it, hopefully it's all coming together at the right time again.
For people and the media like me, we're going to call this and use phrases like got the rhythm back, found their mojo. But how would you describe what we saw tonight?
You saw what the Gamecocks were for 2/3 of the season before injuries decimated them. That's what you saw. You saw a team that could pitch really well, could swing the bats, and play great defense. You just saw who we are when we're not decimated by injuries.
In a tournament game like this, when you have such a big lead and so many innings left to play, what's it like to manage your team? Because, I mean, the game's in hand and you got to get players in and out. What's your thinking in the dugout as the game is moving on?
Yeah, you have to make moves that relate to not only this game, but tomorrow's game, potentially Sunday, potentially a Monday. Not to mention, we also have a lot of guys that are, maybe not quite 100% still. So you notice we got Wimmer out of the game. We got McGillis out of the game. We moved Cole to first base to mitigate any chance of him getting a foul tip with his issues. So, yeah, the fact that we scored so many runs made the decisions a little bit easier at that point in the game. But we started making those moves in the 5th inning because our offense was playing so well, and we knew that we could pitch well the rest of the night as well. So, yeah, it's a lot of decisions to be made in that game, and again, you have to weigh the risk in every decision you make, both in who you're going to start a game, who's going to pitch, who are you going to use today that won't be available tomorrow. So there's a million decisions that go into a ball game, and especially in tournament play, because you have to think about tomorrow and the next day. And when you factor in all the injuries that we have too, we're trying to protect players as much as we can.
Well, what can you say about the way these fans, welcomed you back with all those cheers during pregame introductions, and then when you were taking your at-bats tonight?
Yeah, that was really cool. I definitely noticed how loud they were when they called my name out in the intros, and, I mean, that feels really good to have 8,000 people cheering and supporting you.
It's for all 3 guys. How much of the NC State game did you get to see today, and what are your early thoughts on them?
I'll start. It's a great ball club. They always seem to play well late in the season. They're athletic. They have power, and they can pitch. So it's a ball club we respect very much, and we know it's going to be a great ball game tomorrow.
I just watched a little bit of the game just for fun. I didn't really scout it out or anything like that.
That's our job.
I know there's no official starter yet, but James, you've watched Jack for a while now do what he's doing. What's it been like to watch him pitch, and how much fun has that been, kind of seeing him grow and pitch his best ball late?
Yeah, it's awesome. He's one of my best friends on the team, and he's a guy that I went through all summer with, rehabbing our arms together, and I've watched him battle through illness and fatigue and everything, and he's just such a competitor. He's someone that everyone should be around and learn from. He's fun to watch out there.
James or Will, what can you say about the energy in the dugout today and just everything that you saw from your team when you guys were hanging out in there together and seeing your guys do this on the field?
Yeah, it was fun. It felt like 2 months ago, like what we used to do, and it just felt like us again, really. It was a good energy in there.
Mark, you had a few different options for your lineup today with Will coming back. What kind of made you settle on Tippett in center, Braswell second? What have you seen from those guys the last few weeks to keep that spot with the crunch?
I did a lot of research on our best games this year, and I looked back at what were our lineups, what was our batting order when we were really at our best. Knowing that we would have our full complement of players, I tried to find what was the best combination of when we played our best against Florida and Vanderbilt and Georgia. And I looked back and I saw that Tippett had started games in center field against Georgia, and we played great there. And Will was, when we were great early in the season, Will was leading off. So I just tried to do some homework on what did it look like, what did it feel like when we were at our best, and I tried to match that up as best we could.